All eyes on Doge. Big run up. To the moon. Whew. Doge still going up. All eyes on Doge. Still big run up. To the moon. Keep going up. Going up. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin. Up. Movement in Doge. Dogecoin. Up. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin. Up. Movement in Doge. Dogecoin. 42.60. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin.
Hey everybody, Kriss here. Welcome on a Sunday afternoon. Whoever watched the Indy 500 race, we will talk about that. If you're not a racing fan, we'll touch on that a little bit, and probably some other people will come on during the stream and ask questions. But other than that, Dogecoin's at 22 cents, hanging out, following Bitcoin. I'll also talk about my swing trade that I completed and have bought back in my lot of Doge that I had sold a couple days ago on the swing trade. So we'll talk about that as well. But first, we come down here in the corner, and here is the final on the Indy 500. We've got Devlin DeFrancesco finished 14th out of 33 cars that started the race. Number 14, I was hoping for a top 10 there over the last dozen laps or so. I thought there were a few more cars in front of him that didn't have enough fuel to get to the end. But then there was a crash on the final lap, and the yellow came out, and they froze the field, and that was that. DeFrancesco and Foster were on an alternate pit strategy. They were trying, I think they were hoping for a caution earlier in, in the final 30 laps, maybe lap 20 or something, maybe there'd be a caution. And then because they would have been the cars that most recently fueled and had tires, maybe that would give them a chance, but it didn't work out. And yes, Ryan, the announcers, the Fox team was not really, when Devlin was in the lead, they weren't really counting on him to win. It's like they were still talking about the other cars. They gave Devlin a little bit of time, talked about his premature birth and like all of that. So they gave him a little bit. We got to see the Dogecoin logo on the car a couple times, but only if you were looking for it, which only us Dogecoin fans were the ones looking for it. They didn't have an inside camera in his car. Fox didn't deem him worthy, I guess, like they did the others. Top 14 finish. But so that is Dogecoin at the Indy 500. There were a lot of Dogecoin people who were there at the race. They had a meetup. I guess a couple days ago or a day ago, there was a meetup with a bunch of the Dogecoin fans who did get together and got to meet Devlin and do all that. So that was pretty cool. And there's Devlin was in the lead right there for lap 105. Here it is. The number 30 car was in first place. So 17 laps, Devlin led the race. So that was kind of exciting. He was in the lead and all of that. But yeah, halfway through the race, Ryan, doesn't count. It's like, yeah, good job, but you did win. You want to be leading at the end of the race, not in the middle of the race. So, exactly, that was at the time. Yeah, and then they were doing the math, right, Orbison? They were doing the math, and they were like, yeah, he's off. He's off the count of the 3264 numbers of laps for a tank of gas. So that was it. Hey, what's up? Doing good, Sunshine. How are you? The OG Mars is here. Not poor DeFrancesco. I mean, I think the team did a great job. The RL team is not the best racing team from what I understand. They've got some new drivers. They had one older driver, and Devlin's one of their newer drivers, and they're building their team. And I know, quick with the comments, but But it was nice to see the Doge in front. And it was kind of exciting there for about 17 laps. And even right before that, when he was in fourth and then he was in second, it was like, hey, this strategy may actually work. But the announcers were like, no. You're right. They knew. They knew. Who's winning tonight? Well, the Pacers, of course. They're back in Indiana. And the Knicks are just, they're not going to keep up. That's my outlook of the basketball tonight. Yeah. Hey, Doug, how are you? New World. Hello, everyone. Lame ending. Yeah. Yeah. Led for a while. Hey, Charlotte's here. Hey, we were just talking race cars because there was this Indy 500 race today in Indianapolis, Indiana, of which the Dogecoin, I can go to my, let me get this out of the way, refresh this. And we had the Dogecoin wrapped Indy 500 car, which led for 17 laps during the race, which was exciting. But as Ryan says, yeah, it doesn't matter if you're in the lead halfway through the race. You want to be in the lead at the end. So I was keeping track for anybody on my X account of the race as I was watching it. I could not live stream the race. I had heard before that YouTube you were going to get copyrights, and while the race was going on, I was checking different live streams that were showing the race, and they were getting, all those live streams were getting copyright knocks, and they just weren't able to keep streaming. The only one was the Fox YouTube, and the Fox YouTube was not showing the whole race. They were just showing a couple of in-car views, but you couldn't get the announcing. You couldn't get the overhead views on that because they were just trying to push you to the broadcast, so you'd watch the broadcast. So that's why I couldn't live stream during Indy 500, because YouTube channels were getting copyrights of showing the race. But here we are now, and we can talk about all kinds of things because there's a lot going on. So this is where I ended up on my swing trade. Again, let me zoom out here. So here's what I did. This was back on Wednesday, right after this big green candle. I sold 50,000 Dogecoin at 23.33, right there. 23.33. Doge went up a little bit more and then did a big dip down to 22.8. And I was like, hey, that was pretty good. I was right there at the top. I was looking at, this whole bull flag thing, and I was like, kind of weakness in the market. Doge actually went up to 24 cents, fiddled around there. And on Thursday's live stream, I was looking at the leverage. I was looking at the chart, and I saw that Doge was probably going to drop down to 21.9. And during that live stream, I drew this white line and then circled where it would drop to, 21.9. And that was going to be like Saturday morning. Well, it ended up Sunday morning, so I was only a day behind, but still not bad for a prediction of where Doge would go. Not bad. So that was close. And so this morning I bought my 50,000 Dogecoin back, and I have extra cash on the side, probably about $800 or so that I made off, or $900 that I made off of that swing trade there. So that was just, again, just a portion of my overall Doge stash that I did for that swing trade. Just because the chart set up to me and the weakness I saw going into the weekend, just to me said, this is a good time to do a little swing trade. Even though I typically say don't swing trade because there's risk involved, to me, it was like, it just seems like that was a good time. And so I did that. And of course, I posted on X as well If you don't follow me on X, sorry, a lot of Indy 500 stuff today. A lot of posts on Indy 500. And here was my buy back in early this morning. So I post all that and I let you guys know what I'm doing. And I told you I was going to buy back in, and I told you what my target was. And so that's what I did. So we got caught up on that. The only other thing I wanted to cover is Trader Allen and a number of charts of his, because he has been very busy with the Dogecoin charts. On the RSI, he's looking at this bullish divergence. And I mean, the RSI goes down while the price is kind of going up. Not really strong, in my opinion, on that one, but I get what he's trying to do. Here is his Doge consolidation chart. This is looking back on a weekly chart where, again, he's pointing to this time right before the election last fall, where we had Elon and the Department of Government Efficiency, and everyone was all excited about that. And he's still using that fractal for this huge pump coming up in June. And it's not going to happen. But I get what he's doing. He's just doing his thing, doing his charts. It's getting views, all of that, using pretty colors. Trader Allen. So he had that one. And then he had this other ETH one. And then he had this other Doge one here where he's looking at a second leg in consolidation below a resistance zone, may break through after a shakeout and then move up to this 40-cent zone where Dogecoin was back here in January. And that could actually happen. I have much more faith in that happening than that first chart of his with the big fractal from November. But we shall see. So that's where we start today. Hope everyone is doing well on a Sunday. I do have another Yingling here from my case that I am sipping on. So cheers to everyone who does have a beverage. And if you don't, well, you should. But cheers. They talked about DeFrancesco in the lead for about a lap, but they were really concentrating on the true leaders, the ones that they knew were going to be there at the end. And so he didn't get the love. And like someone said earlier, they kind of knew DeFrancesco wasn't going to win. Yeah, he needed a yellow with like 12 laps to go. Agreed. He needed that caution because he was all set. But Ryan, your portfolio 94% Dogecoin. Yeah, what happened, Charlotte, to your thingy? What happened to your thingy? What happened there? Same. Hi, how are you? Thank you, Forks. Appreciate it. I did not watch the game last night, Oklahoma City game, but apparently from what I saw on ESPN after was they looked really bad. So, sup, Shane? Hey, Aussie. Good day. How's Monday looking over there? Oh, Charlotte, you had to rejoin the membership. Huh. Dominic Toretto doesn't win if you win. Doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Yep. And guess what? Only one car out of 33 was going to win. And Devlin just wasn't one of those. But it was a good showing, and he led the race for 17 laps. And that was pretty exciting for us. A lot of the Dogecoin community we were excited about that. That was good. Could have done incognito, Ryan. I can't chance that with my YouTube channel. I can't chance it getting a copyright. thing. So, hey, Charlotte reclaimed her thingy. Yes. You're back. Hey, Blake, how are you? Are we going to come back up since I bought back in? Well, of course. I wouldn't have bought back in if I didn't think the Doge price is going to go back up from here. So here we go. Let's go. Wait, the cat became a YouTube member again too? I don't know. There seems to be a lot of coincidence here between Charlotte, the queen of Doge, and Pax Cat, your king. Huh. How does that happen? There seems to be a bit of a coincidence, perhaps. Pax Cat in the house. Still no shrimps. No, anything but XRP. You can give me all the XRP in the world and you don't get the cat. But a Bitcoin, waiting for the catalyst. Ryan, many beverages. Cheers. We're waiting for Jason to still post pictures from Indy, because our friend Jason is there. Let's see if he has posted anything. Let's go to this one here. And we will go to @Jason. There's Jason right there. There's our friend Jason at the Indianapolis 500. And hasn't posted yet. So waiting to see Jason's posts here. He did some replies, right? Something going on with X here. X has been having problems with one of their data centers, and it has really messed them up. There we go. Jason says, it's amazing at Indy. I'll post videos and pics later. Service is swamped here. So that's what he says. But yes, there were some good pictures of Devlin's car before the race and the team and all that. Everyone wearing the Doge logos. That was pretty cool. We need Doge adoption. Agree, JS. The House of Doge has been working on this because there they are. There's their logo right here on the car, the House of Doge, right here on the car, House of Doge. So they've been involved in this thing. Now, what I've heard is Tuesday, they're going to be announcing the new leadership team. It's coming on Tuesday. So from there, it's going to be let's go House of Doge. Tuesday. Cheers, Murchie. Wonder if Doge would spike if the NASCAR car won. Probably not. But this was Indy 500 today. Cheers. How about alt season? Yeah, I think it's going to be this fall, and I think it's going to be led by Dogecoin. Probably not during the summer, despite what everybody else is saying. Oh, Bitcoin dominance has to drop now. There's some growing excitement about ETH and everything's it's going to be alt season now. And you look at, let's zoom out to the 2-hour chart, and let's just take a look at Bitcoin dominance. Yep, not going anywhere yet. No alt season. There's been a couple fake outs where people are getting all excited and Bitcoin just comes right back. So, not anytime soon, in my opinion. But again, when looking at the charts and we were looking at the bull flag, this was the setup that I was looking at, was that dip down to 21.9 as Doge came up out of the bull flag. I sold some Doge and I did a swing trade. Doge ended up going up a little higher. Yeah, you know, that didn't look like that was going to happen on the charts to me, but it did. But that's okay. I still predicted Doge was going to come back down to 21.9, which it did this morning. And so I bought back in and have completed my swing trade here this morning, which then I posted on X. So that's what I did. X payments, JS, that would be awesome. Again, in the fall. We wait. We wait. Don't know her, the cat says. Yeah, right. The heat map on Bitcoin looks like it's going back up to 110. Back to 110. So it probably wants to take out some shorts up there, huh? Take out some shorts. Oh, yeah. Look at that. That's like 109 right there. To me, that is 109. Huge short position at 109, 108.99. So I'll say 109 right there. That's what I see. That's on the 24-hour. Let's take a look. Zoom out a little bit. What did you say? 3-day? 3-day. Yeah, there it is. 110. $275 million. Well, there you go. That's at 109.8. So almost 110. So we've got two levels here, the 109 and the 110 level on Bitcoin shorts. Bitcoin now trading at 107.6. So it was last at 109 here yesterday. That was yesterday morning. And it was last at 110 right here on Friday. So not inconceivable to get back up to those levels for Bitcoin. It's Memorial Day tomorrow. US is still going to be pretty lackluster in trading. Things are going to be slow. We'll see how that affects things. I hope we can maintain this until we get a proper catalyst. Yeah, definitely. If the House of Doge big announcement on Tuesday is something really good, which I think it's going to be. I mean, it's not going to be like Elon Musk, somebody who's out there. These are business guys. These are guys who made a lot of money in fintech, and they're not messing around with this, is what I think this is going to be. And so that's Tuesday. We'll have to see. Smash the like. Thank you, Blue Horse. How are you? Good morning to you. My favorite thing to mix with pineapple juice. It's not pineapples on pizza, I can tell you that. But I do like a good pineapple slices. Usually when there's any of those like big mixed fruit kind of things like you see at like hotels, like in the buffet line or something like that, I always pick out the pineapple pieces because I prefer those over the melons and things like that. I like the pineapple pieces. I don't really do pineapple juice that much, though. But nice question. Cheers, everybody. Yeah, the race cars are all about advertising, Johnny. It's all advertising. IndyCar logos are hard to see. I mean, even the big Doge logo. it was hard to see it. I mean, the car was going over 200 miles an hour, and even with Fox, their cameras like panning with it, you still couldn't really clearly see. There was one close up they showed when one of the other cars was having a problem, and Devlin was right there, and you could see the Dogecoin logo. But the rest of the race, you could kind of see the colors, but not the logo. You never saw the Dogecoin D or the Dogecoin word. You just couldn't see it. But that's how it was. Everyone liked the stream. Posted an all eyes on Doge reply. Thank you. Right. You never sell at the peak because you never know when it's going to be. If you happen to hit the peak, you're lucky. If you happen to hit the peak, you're just lucky. And on the dip, I sold right here on that red candle because I was asleep on that dip because that was just 5:30 in the morning on a Sunday. Yeah, I'm not awake at 5:30 in the morning yet. When I woke up, Doge was up here, about 21.9, and I waited for it to dip back down. 21.83 officially logged as 21.96 on Robinhood, but the actual price was 21.83 on Binance, and that was just the spread on the Robinhood. We've talked about that, but that's what I ended up getting. And then, later in the morning, Doge dipped a little further, but now back up over 22 cents, looking good. And I am all back in until about a week from now when I get my next paycheck and I can buy a little more Doge. And we'll see where the price is then. But for now, I closed out my swing trade. I had on the trade, made some extra money. Flying to Vegas tomorrow. So there will be no live stream on Monday, guys. No live stream. Kriss is going to be in an airplane on my way to Vegas, and I will report to you from Vegas throughout the week. There will not be live streams next week until Friday. That's just the way it is. But I will be posting some videos about my time in Vegas at the Bitcoin conference. We'll see how that goes. We will see how that goes. Happy 40th wedding anniversary, Doug. 40 years. Congratulations. We could go sub 20 cents for a bit. Looking strong right now. Ryan's buying in the 20, 21, 22 cent ranges because 40 cents is so achievable. Pineapple and pina coladas. Pina coladas. A lot of people like the pina coladas there. Johnny is growing pineapples at his house. Devlin's car was the prettiest. Yeah, so I've covered this before about my crypto journey. First was about 2018 when I first kind of heard about Bitcoin, when I was doing domain names and website building, and a lot of people were transacting in Bitcoin instead of fiat for those things because they wanted to stay anonymous and do all of that. And that's when I first heard about it. But that was after Bitcoin had already hit 20,000 and it was going down, 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 18,000, 16,000, 14,000, 12,000. I saw that and I was like, yeah, I'm not buying that. It just hit this like tulip kind of peak at the end of 2017. And there was all sorts of negative news about Bitcoin at that time, bear market, all of that. And then I just kind of forgot about it after that. Until the summer of 2020, when the TikTokers were going crazy about this thing called Dogecoin. And I was like, what's that? Took a look at that. It had already doubled in price, kind of peaked from like 002 up to 004. And everyone is going wild. Oh, this Dogecoin, it's going to go to $1. And I was just like, yeah, no, I'm not touching that. And it ended up like going up a little higher and then crashed back down to like 003. So I would have lost a lot on that. I was doing stock swing trading at the time, but that was my introduction to Dogecoin. I didn't buy it then. And I remember seeing the Elon Musk tweet about Dogecoin right at Christmas time, 2020, that caused it to go up. And I think maybe it hit a penny around there, but then afterwards it sort of died back down. And then it was the end of January with the whole GameStop and AMC mess that was going on, and the whole Wall Street Bets group was looking to short something else, and they decided to take out all the shorters of Dogecoin. And I believed that they had the power to do that. And so I bought Dogecoin, and I was just going to swing trade it. I was like, I'll just do this swing trade. I bought it 2 cents, and it went to 3 cents, 4 cents, 5 cents, 6 cents, 7 cents, and 8 cents. It was a 4x in 2 days. I was like, wow. And then, of course, I made a video about it, and I got all this great response. And I was just like, I got to really look into this. And that's when I really looked at what Dogecoin was, and I was like, wow, we could have fun with this. This could be great. And I've been with it ever since. Yep, programming websites. That was it, Ryan. That's where I first heard about it. Bitcoin was websites and domain names. Yeah, I ain't checking stocks that early. 6:30 a.m. nap a little bit. Yeah. Good day, Anthony. How are you? What are you having for breakfast this morning? I'm flying out Monday afternoon. The Crow token, Luis, will just go up and down. It's an exchange token for crypto.com. I own a bunch of it just because I've done a lot of work on crypto.com. And so I've been gathering Crow tokens, and I've been staking them and earning more and doing all of that. But it's been stuck between like 8 and 10 cents for a long time. It'll probably do okay once the real bull run starts. I mean, it can move pretty fast, so I'm just holding on to it till then. You just saw my video about selling the house? Mm-hmm. I don't know what you're asking. Am I being serious? I'm just telling you what I did. Cheers to the Vegas trip and seeing my baby, the Venetian. Thank you, Fred. Yeah, you remember? For Venetian. I know Devlin was right there with the leaders at the end, wasn't he? He was like right there, right in front of the leaders. He and Foster were just kind of switching positions, right? Because they're teammates. So they were kind of switching positions in order to keep that momentum ahead of the leaders that were coming up right on their back. So that ended up being a good strategy for them to stay on the lead lap. But they didn't get that yellow caution flag that they needed. Well, thank you, Flowstill. And safe travels to Vegas. Thank you. Do I offer trading and cryptocurrency wealth creation consultations? Nope. I just do this. So if you have a question, ask me here on these live streams. This is what I do. I am not a financial consultant. Just having fun, sharing what I know, what I see through YouTube on videos and live streams. That's it. Yeah, there were a few people switch that thought that I just sold my house now. But I thought I made it pretty clear, both at the beginning of the video and throughout the video, that this was 2022. 2022, I sold the house. I'm now in this house, which I'm not selling because I own it, cash, no mortgage. I have no mortgage on this house. So I am holding it and enjoying it. This is where we are. But I wouldn't have this house if it wasn't for selling the other house back in 2022 and dumping it all into crypto. Anthony, I went to the bank to ask for a loan for $150,000. They asked me the purpose of the loan. You said it was to buy crypto, and they just rejected it. Well, there you go. The banks. The stupid banks. Which is why I want to totally debank myself and just be done with the banks. Because, one of the best things about buying this house, I didn't have to go to a bank. Banks do house appraisals, which you have to pay for. Didn't have to do that. Banks with mortgages require you to sign like 100 pages of documents. Didn't have to do that. Also, because of the length of time it takes for the bank, right, to get you that mortgage approval, because it's got to go to the underwriters. I call them undertakers. The underwriters, right? Oh, it's in underwriting. It's in underwriting. Takes forever. And it's just like, no. And because there were 5 other people that put offers in on this house. There were 5 other offers. But mine was all cash, no contingency, no mortgage, no delays, fast closing, no inspection. Because I'm an architect, I looked at the house and I could see the house was really well built. So no inspection contingent, none of that. Really clean offer, and it was accepted. They didn't even negotiate. They're just like, okay. So exactly, Charlotte. They might as well call themselves undertakers. That's what I call them. I call those underwriters the undertakers. It's in underwriting. Just like so slow. Just use crypto. People only read the titles. I know. I didn't say I just sold my house. I said I sold my house. Ugh. So people only read the titles and assume you just sold the new house. Do I think the Genius Act will have an effect on price action? No. It probably won't be tomorrow, probably Tuesday, just because it's Memorial Day tomorrow. So it'll probably Tuesday. But no, I don't think it's a stable coin. It's all about stable coins. Here's the thing about stable coins, guys. Why do we like Dogecoin as a cryptocurrency, right? Although we look at the price compared to the US dollar, which that is just how it is compared, and that keeps people, just where the price is, right? But in the end, 1 Doge equals 1 Doge. It doesn't matter if it's 22 cents, 25 cents, 10, it doesn't matter. It's 1 Doge equals 1 Doge. And if you look at it just in the terms of decentralized finance, right? And that you want to be able to barter, right? Trade your cryptocurrency for things, services, objects, whatever, right? Right? You want to get some services, let's say from Charlotte, right? Who offers services, right? You're not dealing with dollars or pounds or euros. You're dealing with cryptocurrency, and you and the owner of whatever it is, right? You negotiate a price in cryptocurrency. It doesn't matter what the fiat price is. In the end, fiat is going to zero. It's going to zero, right? They just keep infinitely printing more and more money. Bitcoin, Dogecoin will be what it is. People compare it to the US dollar just because that is kind of the norm of how people see the price. But in the end, I think a lot of us, what we want to see is just how many Dogecoin is that coffee, right? How many Dogecoin is that? Like, can I do a tire change for, right? Dude, how many Doge? And we want to price it in that and not fiat. As soon as you start doing CBDCs, right? Or even the Genius Act is a stable coin, right? It's not a CBDC, but it's pretty close. It's a stable coin. And the stable coin is based on what? It's based on the US dollar, which is the infinitely inflating currency of the United States. Infinitely inflating currency. So that's my take on that. The Genius Act is about stablecoin usage. Is it the first step into adoption of crypto? Well, again, stablecoins are not cryptocurrencies. It's a digital dollar is really what it is. So not the best thing in the world, but at least they're not banning crypto. So I'll take that. Buy the dips. So I'm new. So in 5 years, I want to buy a house. Is it feasible to make money from stocks and crypto until 2030 to purchase a house with cash? So here's the one thing that I was thinking about back in 2022 while it was in the bear market. And I just knew the prices were going to go up. Is the old adage, it takes money to make money. Because that's true. It takes money to make money. I would not have made $2 million in crypto if I didn't put a large chunk of money in to get those kinds of returns. If it was just the little bits I was doing before, little pieces of leftover on my paycheck, some of the side hustle dollars I was able to put in, I would not have been able to make enough to buy a house with pure cash. Wouldn't have been able to do it. So that's why I took the risk of selling my house. Right after that FTX crash, it was just like, I got to do this. I got to do it. So, and that was that time. Is there going to be another opportunity like that again? There could be. We'll see what happens. I think we're still going to keep going up this bull market. I don't think this bull market is over. Dogecoin is going to be higher in October than it is now. I feel pretty strongly about that. So that's what that was. Oh yeah, definitely. Selling a house to buy crypto is dangerous. Absolutely. And I talked about that in the video, just like the huge risk that it was there. It's a huge risk. Good afternoon. How you doing, Raul? Reminder to everyone to like and subscribe. Thank you. Appreciate it. I was told crypto investments are risky and banks wouldn't lend you money. Exactly. You're not going to be able to borrow money from a bank to buy hundreds of thousands of dollars of crypto. That's true. Yeah, sorry, the title may have been a bit confusing, but the idea was to get people to click on the video and watch it a little bit. Thank God I don't work on Monday because I lock in when at work listening to the stream. There will be no stream on Monday. No stream. Friday will be my next live stream after coming back from Las Vegas and telling you all of my tales. After all the tariff situation gets done, I think the next competition in the world will be the crypto race. I don't think crypto's race is going to be that big. Not as big as you think it's going to be. Do you agree with the Motley Fool article this morning regarding Doge? The Motley Fool article this morning. Let's see what it was. I didn't see it. Motley Fool. I'm looking for it. I'm looking for it. Definitely not coming up. It's like Motley Fool doesn't want me to. I'm still looking. Got it. No. Prediction, Dogecoin will plummet to new lows by the end of the year. That article? Is that the one? Dogecoin will plummet to new lows by the end of the year. Yeah, because those guys think that Dogecoin is useless and has no utility. And they just print this kind of crap again and again and again. So, yeah, there you go. Not the Motley Fool. Fiat high inflation. Exactly. In my opinion, this is all sell the hype thing. Hype any crypto through whatever means, then while in the hype generated, hyper will sell. Yeah, but I'm not hyping. That's not me. Doge is still in a bull flag. Is it? No. It kind of broke out of it. It broke out of it, and then it can be okay. Because I can get rid of this white thing now. I already showed that. We're moving on from that. So what pattern are we looking at now? Dogecoin had the bull flag pattern. It broke out, comes back down. It's just kind of nothing now. We can even get rid of the bull flag now because it just, see, any pattern you make doesn't necessarily mean that's what's going to happen. Did not go to 29 cents. Made it to 25 and then just fell back to 22. So that's where we are. Looks like we're just now in a sideways range between 22 and 25. And we've been that way since the 10th of May. So that's 2 weeks. 2 weeks of sideways trading is what it is. Now looking at it with a fresh eye. It's just 2 weeks of sideways trading. There's always a chance, Leno Chad, that could happen. I think it's a small chance. Again, what I've been saying is it depends on the catalyst for Dogecoin. You tell me what Dogecoin is going to do, right? Or what someone is going to do with Dogecoin. Is it going to be on X as part of X payments if Elon does eventually get around to launching it? Or is Elon going to accept Dogecoin as a payment for a new Tesla car? Those would be pretty big catalysts. How about the Doge ETFs? We're going to get Doge ETFs successfully launched. I think that's going to happen, probably October timeframe. That'll be big. What's going to happen with House of Doge and SuchPay and their partnerships and this rollout of accepting Dogecoin as payment? Is that going to be a really big deal? Or is it going to be this kind of real slow kind of thing like the MyDoge sodas? I mean, it was cute, right? The Dogecoin soda. Anybody can do that. Anybody can sponsor a label that gets put on a MyDoge soda. Doesn't mean anything, right? What's the real partnerships that are going to make Dogecoin go? That's what I want to see. Thank you, Jay. Thank you. Appreciate it. Part of it was the crypto, but also part of it was me really grinding for a few years on a side business, the side hustle. Because if it wasn't for that side hustle, and if I was just, working 8 to 5, just making my salary, paying my bills, I would never get anywhere. You wouldn't get ahead. So you had to first have that one thing that gets you a little bit of ahead. And for me, that was the side hustle. That started bringing in extra money that I could then completely get out of debt and then start giving me some capital that I could start working with. So thank you, Aussie. I will enjoy the conference. Yeah, what a fool. Thank you, Wildman. Yeah, everybody do your diligence and work through these things. Yep. Trump is enjoying the crypto circus. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Shaywan, 35 cents. I mean, that's up to you. What you think when you bought Dogecoin at 35 cents, what were you thinking then? What was your goal? What was your plan? Raul says, I wouldn't sell, not at 22 cents. Switch thought we'd hit 30 cents this week. Still too much weakness, still too much uncertainty. The tariff stuff, risk of inflation. The Fed isn't going to be lowering interest rates anytime soon. All of that is still out there. That just doesn't make for really good conditions for a blast off in crypto prices. Exactly. And that's the other thing Motley Fool is about. Don't invest in crypto. Click on our links, join our Motley Fool, whatever you have to buy from them, right? To buy stocks. They tell you, oh yeah, you're going to make all of this money in stocks if you sign up for our newsletter or our whatever. Yeah. We look at those Motley Fool articles every now and then about Dogecoin just to show you what they're saying, because I cover pretty much everything Dogecoin related, and also to make fun of Motley Fool. Thank you, Maul. Appreciate it. Right. TA and all. I wouldn't call it a joke, but it definitely is questionable. That doesn't make prices go up. I mean, we look at all of these trader tardigrade things, right? And it's just like, hey, yeah, that's great. Awesome. But it's the news that's going to make this happen. It isn't going to be because the technical analysis said from some fib lines or reverse head and shoulders thing or cup and handle, and none of that matters. I show it as a reference of what people are saying about Dogecoin, but I don't believe that stuff. I believe in the heat maps, particularly when it comes to Bitcoin. And we look at that bright yellow line there at 109.8, and we say, you know what? Bitcoin's going to go up to 109.8. Maybe hit 110, take out that next one above. But that just has a huge target on it for for the shorts. Huge target on it. So I believe that. And I look at that and I say, yeah, Bitcoin's going to go up to 110. Probably on Tuesday. Imagine that. Why Tuesday? It's not Monday because Monday's Memorial Day. Tuesday. Yeah, I mentioned, Ryan, I mentioned in the video, I mean, houses in Boston are expensive. And as soon as you own your first house and you're making your mortgage payments, you're building up equity in that house. And I had bought and sold a few houses before that one, of which I bought it for a certain price, sold it at a much larger price, and I increased my equity. And then by the time I had the divorce, there was like $1 million of equity, which then had to split. So then was back to $500,000. And then built it back up before selling it. So that's how I got that much equity. But there were a couple house sales before we had kids that built up enough to buy the nicer house in Boston. I didn't get into all that. That's just too much background stuff. That video could have been like an hour long. You know how I like to talk, but it could have been an hour long. And I was just like, yeah, I gotta get to the point on some of these things. Doge is really good for swing trading, Anthony. I just proved that again. Especially this past 2 weeks, up and down, up and down. Yep, I made some money swing trading. I can only imagine me asking my wife about selling a house to buy Doge. Well, the lucky thing in my situation at that time was I had no wife. So, had no wife. I had Miss KrissPax, and I have my kids, and we talked about it. I told them what I was doing, and I just did it. What's my prediction about Trump? Amir, I don't know what you mean about Trump. He's a wild card. You just know that. And we've seen it with the tariffs and all this other crazy stuff. Overall, I think the intentions are good. And I think the United States will be in a much better financial position because Trump is our president, as opposed to the path we were going down with the Democratic leadership. That I truly believe. How we get there, I am not 100% in agreement with. I am not a Trump bootlicker or anything like that. No. His methods aren't the best, but the ideas are there of what's going to help our country. What time did I start today? 4:45, 4:40? Yeah, about an hour ago. I was late because I was watching the end of the Indy 500 race. Yep. Thank you, Anthony. Yep, I do. I say it all the time. People asking me, oh, Doge is going to go up to $1 this summer or June or by the end of them. And I'm like, no. You have been mining Doge from one of my links with the MyDoge app. Been doing pretty well. Thank you, Nismo. Appreciate it. unMineable. It's an easy way to get into mining. It's a good way to get started figuring it out. And then you can take it from there. Abe got in at 14 cents, sold at 24. That's a good profit. Some people have bigger dreams, but that's a pretty good profit. Anthony, yes, I was aware that crypto could go to zero. Yep. I just felt at that time that if there was an opportunity for me to make money in crypto, that was the time. I had faith in Bitcoin. Dogecoin, just looking at the 4-year cycles again, I just thought this thing is going to go up again. Got into a bunch of other cryptos. Take it or leave it. I explained that in the video. But yeah, I say it all the time. Everything in crypto is risky. You don't know what's going to happen. You see more and more like hackers getting into crypto systems, things like that. Not good. It's all risky. Ah, yes, Ryan. Exactly. I just saw your chat there. Yeah. Kriss has always said he knew it was hella risky. Thank you, Ryan. The Trump coin. The Trump coin is hella risky too. Especially hella risky. Yeah. Do I regret buying some Trump coins? I didn't know what it was going to do. It's such a small part of my overall portfolio. It's just like, yeah, I'll throw a little bit at it. Buy some Trump tokens. My collectibles, see what happens. And that hasn't worked out really well, but you never know. Trump is my criminal. Again, just the way things were going under that other leadership was not good for the country. And I live in a very blue state here in Massachusetts, Boston, especially the town. And I'm just like, I don't like the way these laws are. I don't like the way the judges are ruling. And I don't like all this stuff. Gold, not a bad idea to have a little bit of your portfolio in gold. Ask Peter Schiff. Just go watch him for a while. Now, yeah, I mean, if you're going to buy gold now, you're buying at the top. But that doesn't mean it doesn't keep going up. I mean, let's look at the gold on the weekly chart. And what do you think? This is how it's been. From 2022 to 2025, it's just been up. Look at this. So if you're going to buy gold now, you're buying right near the top of where it is right now. There are pullbacks, but those pullbacks never last very long. I mean, this pullback here was 9 weeks. So it's like 2 months. And it only went down like 8%. So there's no huge, wild drops in the price of gold. It doesn't go on these giant things. Now we can look back at early 2022. Now that was the bear market. That was the bear market. Bitcoin went from 69K all the way down to 15K. Okay? 69 to 15. What happened to gold? Gold went down 17%, not 300%. So gold is less risky than Bitcoin. Not the best investment in a bull market, but in a bear market, it is the best store of value. Meaning, if you think the markets are going to crash, you want to be in gold, not crypto, not even Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin is less risky than other cryptos, but Bitcoin can still go down quite a bit. Again, if we go to the Bitcoin chart and we look at what happened in 2022, Bitcoin went from 69K all the way down to 15. Okay, down 76%. I apologize. If it went down 100%, it'd go to zero. 76%. What did gold go down? 17. Bitcoin went down 76. And Doge? Huh. Well, let's just do it from the October high of 35 cents all the way down. And that's 85% drop in Dogecoin. Not counting this thing up here at 73 cents. So Was this indeed the bottom on April 7th when Dogecoin hit 13 cents? And we are in this turnaround, even though this week we're in a red week. But is this the overall start of a full giant cup? And we'll get back up to 48 cents? Could be. Good afternoon, CDC. Thank you, Nismo. All eyes on Doge. Appreciate the super chat. Thank you. Bonds. Buy bonds. Maybe at the end of 2025, right? If you think the bull market is over. Or you could just put it in stable coins. But the stable coins, again, tied to fiat, in most cases the US dollar, just deflate away. Do I think MSTY is good? There's no MSTY. If you're talking about MicroStrategy, it's MSTR. Okay? MSTR. What's going to happen with MicroStrategy? I think that MicroStrategy has topped out, $500. I don't think MicroStrategy stock is going to get back to $500. Do you know why I think that, Abe? Because Michael Saylor is continuing to create bonds against the stock, diluting the stock, and who knows what else behind the scenes, all to buy more Bitcoin. I think that big run that it was on back in 2024 was built on a lot of hype and FOMO. I think things have really settled down, and I don't think that's going to be happening again anytime soon. So that's my take on MicroStrategy. What's new at the House of Doge? Well, today they were all wrapped up in the Indy 500. Tuesday is what we're looking to see. Is Tuesday. Donald Trump may have broken federal law at a meme coin dinner. I don't think so. I think Caroline Leavitt was pretty clear, the White House press secretary, of that. And I think, I mean, maybe somebody's going to sue him. Maybe someone's going to create action against him like they always do, try and sue him. But I'm not worried about it. Hey, Yuli, you got an email from Robinhood. Action required. Robinhood account is temporarily restricted. All right, so do not touch anything on that email, Yuli. Do not touch anything on that email. Separate from wherever your email is, right? Log into your Robinhood account. Are there any restrictions on your account? Do not click on an email from Robinhood. Don't click. You don't know if that email is legit. No, instead, open a new window or go on your phone separate from where your email is. Log into your Robinhood account directly and then see what it says. Never click on an email about anything related to crypto because you don't know what that click means. Don't do it. Peak was not a tip. Peak was something that I said I was investing in. It wasn't a tip to anybody. Anthony, not a tip. There was no tip involved. I said, I found this new project. I'm investing in it for long term. That's all I said. Don't click a link in an email. Exactly right. What did the Doge car do today? It finished 14th. We talked about it at the beginning of the stream. So if you want to hear all of the Indy 500 talk, you can always scroll back to the first 10 minutes of the stream. Whoever you are, Vision Pulse fan, dumb question. Watch the video. Schiff will be excited about his 2x. Exactly. I did much better in 2 years of crypto than I ever would have done in gold. I don't know. I've never bought gold. Anybody who has can tell in the chat how you bought gold, but I've never done it. There are gold ETFs. There are gold companies. There are different ways to buy gold without actually buying gold. One of them is Pax Gold, which is it's like a stable coin tied to gold called Pax Gold. That's not me. Will ETH ever surpass its previous all-time high? I don't think so. And I've said that before. I don't think ETH is going that high. Michael Anthony, I'm not talking about your Pfizer thing. It's dumb to come here every day and post this stuff about these stock things. And that's a dumb thing to say, Vision Pulse fan, whoever you are. Michael Saylor is Satoshi. No. Whatever MSTY is, I've never heard about it. It doesn't show up as a crypto or a stock. So after this bull market, will Doge drop to 10 cents? RKT, that's a great question. I think we have to see how high Dogecoin goes first. And then we can start snapping all of our fib retracement lines for the next bear market, right? And try and figure out how low will it go, right? But right now, I don't know where Doge is going yet. So I cannot predict what the low is going to be in the next bear market. I don't know. You think MicroStrategy is going to cause the bear market? No, because MicroStrategy isn't going to be like a total bankruptcy thing. I don't see that happening. So I don't think it's going to have the same effect. But you're welcome, Yuli. You log into the Robinhood account, it doesn't say anything. That is a hacker, scammer, trying to get you to click on links in an email that do things that take you places that aren't Robinhood. So be careful. Thank you, Charlotte. Long term, yeah, I got in early. You don't know what's going to happen. Down a little bit, yeah. Pax Gold is owned by Pax. Charlotte, that's hilarious. All along, the cat is sitting on a gold mine, right? The cat sitting on a gold mine. It's gold. I love it. Pax Gold. Where is Pax Gold? I didn't think it was in the top 50 yet. I know it's in the top 100. Where is that? There's Tether Gold. How did Tether Gold get up there? Oh. Pax Gold may not be. Pax Gold. It's number 88. I scrolled right past it. Pax Gold, a market cap of 805. $805 million. Does that mean that cat is sitting on $800 million? God, that cat. $800 million cat, and I'll sell him for 1 Bitcoin. Elon's been busy with the government. Now that Elon has pulled away from the Doge, Department of Government Efficiency piece, what's he going to do? What's he going to say about crypto as he digs in at his companies, starts working Tesla, SpaceX, like full-time again? What's he going to do? He watched you work hard for the past few years to buy a house. Pax Cat was laughing while enjoying his gold. That's why Charlotte wants the cat sitting on a gold mine. So you're one of those trolls that comes in here and just says things to try and push my buttons. I'm not interested. If you want to offer some decent ideas for conversation, I'm happy to do that. If not, I'm just going to ban you. So if you want to be banned, just ask me now another dumb question and you'll be gone. But if you want to have a nice conversation about crypto or whatever, be glad to do it. But don't be a jerk. Traded Jimmy for an ounce of gold. He's a gold dealer. That cat. Maybe Peter Schiff would want him. Peter Schiff would be like, Pax Gold, not interested. I just want the real gold. For those just joining in, our favorite race car driver, Devlin DeFrancesco, finished in 14th place in the Indy 500 out of 33 cars. So he was in the top half. I think he and Foster got caught up in an alternate strategy in terms of pit stops and refueling. And that left them over half a lap behind the leaders at the end, which that didn't help them. That alternate strategy thing, I think the announcers on Fox had that called probably with more than 80 laps to go. That it was like, yeah, that's probably not going to work for them. So that's pretty much what happened. But he was in the lead for 17 laps. First place, and that was fun to watch. But yeah. Yeah, I'm just waiting to do that. Jerk. Ryan, I should have just I should have just banned him right away because I knew he was just going to be a troll. And he is. So we took care of that. Yet another troll. Aesthetic. Bought some more Doge on the dip. Nice. You have to find you a cat that knows how to trade crypto. Thank you, Jeep Doc. I'll try and make a couple videos while I'm in Las Vegas. Try and catch the vibe of the Bitcoin conference, what's going on, maybe talk to some people, see what that's all about. But just looking also to, a week away from work, paid vacation. I have all this vacation time, so might as well use it. Go to Vegas for a week. It's going to be 92 degrees every day and sunny. Better than this crap we have in Boston right now. So that'll be nice. Hopefully meet some new people. Spread the love of Doge at a Bitcoin conference. That'll be fun. There'll be some other Doge people there. We'll see. I'm looking forward to that. The boots, they be working. Yep. Exactly. Leno Chad, I agree. ETH should not have transitioned. Should have stayed a proof of work and just dealt with it. They were doing so well, even though gas fees were high and it was kind of slow, and it was doing well, and they just ruined it for themselves. I mean, it's still the number 2 crypto, but I don't think that's going to last forever. There's an ETF called MSTY. Never heard of it. But I did get to do my take on MicroStrategy. I don't know what an MSTY ETF is. MSTY. MSTY ETF. Proactive strategies. The fundamental case for what? MSTY proactive strategies. MSTY. I'm just not really getting. It's got 120% plus yield. Yield max. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why. I don't know what this is. MSTY has done incredibly well with a 12-month trailing dividend yield of 123%. I don't believe this performance will continue in 2025. Of the 3 underlying mechanisms MSTY uses to generate income, only one is likely to work in a bear market. I suspect the full run in Bitcoin still has some room left. Investors who rely on MSTY for income could consider developing their own trading system to take advantage of the upcoming bear market, if you believe there's an upcoming bear. Actively managed fund that seeks to generate monthly income by selling and writing call options on MicroStrategy. So it is tied to MicroStrategy. Generate monthly income by selling and writing call options on MicroStrategy. MSTY pursues a strategy that aims to harvest compelling yields while retaining capped participation in the price gains of MicroStrategy. Well, I told you what I thought about MicroStrategy. This thing isn't going to do good if that happens. Good luck. Hey, Skeptical, how are you? You're up in Maine? Nice. I may have something Dogecoin related at the Bitcoin conference. May just do that. Yeah, I'd like to talk to people on camera, Ryan, if I can. We'll see whether that works out. I don't have anything planned. I haven't made any connections with anyone specifically to meet up and talk to. I'm just going to go there, check out the scene, record what's going on. If something happens, something happens. Kind of like a vlog kind of thing, maybe. We'll see. You got 200 shares of that ETF. Sounds sus. Well, good luck, Abe, with the dividend stuff. I don't do those things, so can't help you there. So tonight the week will close on red for Doge, right around 22 cents. And then we'll see where the new week catches us. As we called out, Doge is just kind of in this sideways range now for 2 weeks between 22 and 25 cents. It's been a few touches above 25, a few touches below 22, but that seems to be the range that Doge is trading in right now. So, yeah, that's about it. I'm not expecting any big moves tonight or tomorrow. Tomorrow, again, is Memorial Day in the United States, and just there's not going to be a lot of trading going on. You're not going to have this huge volume or anything like that. So, pull up to the conference in a dog sled. That is so not me, but it is funny to think about. Funny to think about. Yes. All right, gang. Yeah, that's what we have. Watched the Indy 500 earlier. That was fun. Hadn't really watched that race before, like fully engaged in it. I was tweeting out what was going on. And that was about it. So we'll catch up on some of the post-race stuff and see how the Doge fam did that was there. Looking forward to Jason's posts on X on what he experienced there in the, he was like 8 rows up in the first corner, I believe, something like that. So looking to see what he had, see what the House of Doge posts and everything. Again, House of Doge, some big announcements going to come on Tuesday. So we'll look forward to that. Yeah, that's what I think's going on right now. So I hope everyone's well. Have a good Sunday night or Monday morning if that's where you are. And we'll see you next time.
Dogecoin, which started as a complete joke, has like skyrocketed to not a joke anymore. It hit an all-time high of almost 10 cents yesterday, but it was so minuscule you wouldn't have understood why you have millions of shares.
Didn't Elon tweet that too?
And arguably, the most entertaining outcome and the most ironic outcome would be that Dogecoin becomes the currency of Earth in the future.